Imagine that it's 5 p.m. on a Thursday. You're about to clock out for the last shift of the last day of the work week. This could be our norm if we adopted a 4 day work week instead of the 5 day work week that we're currently used to. A work week where productivity remains high, but we have time in between to catch our breaths a little bit and breathe in between them. I want to talk to you today and tell you some reasons why I feel that we would be better off as both workers and employers if we adopted a 4 day work week. To better understand this, it's important to talk about where the 40-hour work week began. The 40-hour work week was created by Henry Ford in 1926. This increased productivity for long hours in its assembly line plants, and it also created what we know as the 2 day weekend. For its time, the idea was revolutionary, but I think it's safe to say that almost a century later, we've kind of outgrown this system. Studies suggest that working a 40-hour or more work week can lead not only to physical ailments like burnout, chronic fatigue, and cardiovascular disease, but also cause mental issues like chronic depression and anxiety attacks. A 2017 study by Ruth Kirkstein of the National Institute of Mental Health suggests that men are estimated to have a 35% higher risk of stroke and 17% increased risk of heart attack from working 40 hours or more per week. Another study conducted by Bahat Kurbalani, the chief neurologist of Johns Hopkins University, suggests that out of 100 workers surveyed, 18% of them report doctor-diagnosed depression, while 76% of employees agree that workplace stress has an effect on their mental health. That's over 3/4, and that's a big deal. Workers are tired, and they complain about not having enough time to spend with their families and loved ones. These things create a poor quality of life, which to workers has a direct effect on productivity and even attrition. You know, a few companies have actually initiated pilots and they tested out a 4 day work week in real time. One such company is the Perpetual Guardian of New Zealand, with 38% of its employees reporting improved health and better sleep. They believe that as a result, their employees are well rested and have more time to devote to their families and personal lives. These factors contributed to a 15% decrease in absenteeism. In 2019, NPR reported on a study done by Microsoft Japan, where its workers were given 5 Fridays off in the month of August. The company reported that it became more efficient with a 23% decrease in energy usage cost while reporting a 36% increase in worker productivity. Both companies have since adopted a 4 day work week permanently. You know, to me, this proves that there's a direct correlation between healthier, happier employees and better productivity across many different types of jobs that are so different, but they share one archaic, fundamental institution, which is a 40-hour work week. You know, I think it's time to step into a more modern era, one where we don't have to dread the end of an inadequate 2 day break, one that doesn't keep us teetering on the brink of cardiac arrest or a mental breakdown and crisis, one where companies can thrive at their highest efficiency, and one where we can all win. So let's do something about it. Let's unify. Let's speak out as a collective to leadership and management at our jobs. Let's stop just imagining this and be the ones who push for a more beneficial work-life balance, one that works better for the employees and the employers. This is why I think we need to transition into a 4 day work week. Thank you for listening.